Good morning and welcome to Just Daf It, Daf Yomi Share. We're learning Maseches Kesubos, Daf Yud Zayin, number 17. We have a fascinating share for you today. We're talking about the famous Gemara, Ketzad Marakdin Lifnei Akala. Uh, you know, how do you dance in front of the Kala? What do you say in front of the Kala? Uh, One of the most famous songs you'll hear at a wedding. Uh, there's actually a Gemara based. It comes from a Gemara. If you didn't know that comes from a Gemara, you're about to find out. It's actually a Gemara here on Daf Yud Zayin and Kesubos. So, whenever you're at a wedding, you can say to your friend, "Hey, it's a Gemara I learned in Daf Yomi," and I'll say back to you, "Hey, go check out the bar over there. They got some good drinks. They got a good smorgasbord over there. Go get some food." And the guy would be like, "All right, listen, you're right. Dancing, Gemara, smorgasbord, which comes first?" All right, let's get started. The bottom of Tezayin of Bees, Tanu Rabbanon, second to last line. Tanu Rabbanon, Ketzad Marakdin Lifnei Akala. Technically, the lashon of the Gemara. I think it's a song also. How do you dance in front of the Kala? It seems from the Gemara talking about what you say to the Kala. Beishamai Omrim Kala Anav V'Chasud. Kala's Kamoshe. Sorry, Beishamai says you say to her whatever she is. If she's ugly, you tell her she's ugly. If she's pretty, you tell her she's pretty. Actually, Tosas at the top what Beit Shammai means. Beit Shammai means if she's ugly, then basically you either don't say anything or you say, "Wow, she has a nice fingers." I don't know. The Gemara says you can't look at the face of a kala, you can look at her fingers. Basil says, no, you should lie. Even if she's ugly, you say she's she's beautiful, she has grace. She was crippled, right? She's walking in there, she's in a wheelchair. A woman in a wheelchair getting married, she's blind. I actually have heard of a story of a kala that was actually blind. He married a regular guy from a yeshiva that I was in. Omrumla, it's interesting because it was in the yeshiva I was in. He got married in America. He came back to the yeshiva with his wife, newly married. And he came right before Purim. I wasn't particularly close with this guy, but he gave me shalach manos on Purim from him and his wife. He told me his wife, literally, she baked the rugelach. She stayed up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. A blind woman baking rugelach. Can you believe it? So maybe you could praise her about that. I mean, you don't know at the wedding she's such a good baker, but Omrullah Kalinav. So Basil Sarayshai Sakhir so Suma Omrullah Kalinav Kasuda. I told Amra Midvar Shakir Tirchak. Misham says to Basil, you can't lie. You're lying over here, right? You can say Kalinav Kasuda if, according to me, like Toza says, you don't say anything, so you're not lying. But to say Kalinav Kasuda, right? You're lying. She's not beautiful, right? You have the Greeks there's a scale telling how beautiful someone's face is, right? I think 1.68 or something like that is the ratio of the face, different parts of the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the eyebrows, and things like that. There's an objective standard of beauty in the world. If you didn't know that, it's not called pi, it's called phi in Greek. So she's not beautiful. She's ugly according to everybody. Objectively, she's very ugly. You shouldn't lie. Someone made a bad purchase, got ripped off in the marketplace, right? He went into the stock market. He got tanked by the pump and dump. It's happened to me, actually. I think you never know exactly, but you should be aware if you're trading stocks and you're trading a new stock that seems to just rise all of a sudden and triple its value or something like that, quadruple, 5 times its value very quickly, and then all of a sudden everyone starts selling and it goes all the way back down to less than when it started from. It's called pump and dump. I didn't know about this. I think I lost like $9,000 in the stock market because of that. So you got to be aware of these things. Someone made a bad stock. Someone would go and say, you're a stupid guy. You fell for the pump and dump. um, you should praise him, or you're gonna make fun of him. Obviously, you should praise him. Say, no, you're a great stock trader. Keep on trading more money, you'll lose more. Based on this, based on what Basil said, we learn that a person's das should be mixed among people. What does that mean exactly? Rashi says, "Lasos leish v'yishker sono," to do whatever makes someone happy. You tell him his wife is ugly, you're not going to make him happy. According to Basil, you omit the fact that you're commenting about his wife, he's going to feel bad about it. But if you say she's not v'chasuda, she's going to feel good about it. It's exactly what this means. I'm going to talk more in Enoch Ben Sion to explain exactly as Malchus Beit Shammai Basil, because it seems like, I would say, like Beit Shammai, meaning, assuming Beit Shammai doesn't mean you should actually say kamochi, meaning say bad things about her. He just means just omit the bad things, don't say anything. It seems more likely to me to say like Beit Shammai. That's the way I live my life, in general. People do things to me or give me something that I really don't like. I'll give a token thank you, but I won't really praise it. I won't go out of my way to lie, make people believe I really like something that I really don't like. I just won't say anything. And if it's something I really like, I really appreciate, I'll express my happiness and my joy at what someone did for me, what someone got from me, and that makes it more authentic, because a person, when they're dealing with you, they know that you give them an authentic compliment. It's a real compliment, as opposed to someone who just runs around giving everyone compliments. So my compliments are authentic. If I tell you your food is good, it's really good. If I tell you your art is really nice, it's really nice. Okay. So the Gemara says, Kiasar of Dimi Amar Haki Mashru Kamikalta Marava. When Rav Dimi said, this is what they sang in front of the Kala in Eretz Yisrael, Lo Chav, Lo Srach, Lo Pirkos, V'Alas Chein. Seemingly the Gemara means she doesn't need eyeliner, she doesn't need blush, but Lo Pirkos, she doesn't need braids in her hair, V'Alas Chein. She still has a lot of grace in the eyes of her beholders. Some people take this to mean that you don't have to wear makeup. I actually heard over Shabbos that there's some very frum people, Hasidim, maybe from Haredi people, that they're pshita. The women don't wear makeup. Then they just don't wear makeup. And this is the source. This is the Gemara. You don't need it. That's the way they interpret this Gemara. Pashas, the simply explanation of the Gemara is that even without these things, you're beautiful. You're not. So the Gemara says, Kisam Rabbanan the Rabbi Ami the Rasi, when Rabbanan gave smicha to Rabbi Nasi, Charlie Haki, Kol Minden, Smukulano, Lo Smukulano. I'm sorry, I skipped the line. Kisam Rabbanan the Rabbi Zera, and the Rabbanan gave smicha to Rabbi Zera, Charlie Haki, Lo Chav, Lo Srak, Lo Pirkos, V'Alas Chein. Obviously, he didn't wear makeup. They're just saying, based on the worthiness of him as a rabbi, even without his fancy drushes, right? Makeup, it makes you look fancy, it makes you look elegant, right? Even without his big chidushim, Rab Zera, his big discourses, right? He was beautiful. His Torah knowledge flowed from him effortlessly. He didn't have to show off and make it, show off like me. That's why I don't have smicha. So the Gemara says, when they gave smicha to Rabbi Ami, Surely Haki Kol Min Dain V'Kol Min Dain Smuchulana. These are the type of people you have to give smicha to. Smuchulana Lo Min Sarmisin V'Lo Min Sarmitin. Not from the Sarmisin and the Sarmitin. What are Sarmisin and Sarmitin? Rashi says people distort the halacha, or people make rags of the halacha. They wear it out. They keep on saying the same chiddush over and over again, the same Musar shmooze over and over again. V'lo min chamisin. Lo min chamisin v'lo min tormisin. You shouldn't be from one of the fifth. They say one of the fifth means you study 1/5 of a Masechta. That's almost how much we've done of Masechta Kesubos. But you know what? We're going to finish it, as opposed to the yeshivas, the big yeshivas in the world, who really learn less than 1/5 of yeshiva, and then close the masechta and go on to another masechta. No, we're not min achamisin. Below min tormisin. Tormisin is a type of bean or something you soak for a long time. Again, tormisin, these people that soak in a sugya, they're learning Pesach B'Chasuch for 2 months. That's tormisin. Not a good idea. Be a big rabbi, you got to learn all the shots. You got to learn Daf Yomi, just Daf It with Ben Sion Lang, and learning with Ben Sion, and Mishnah Yomi, and Shulchan Aruch Yomi, and the real me. And you got it all. All right. So the Gemara said, okay, Abba asking Masif to the Beit Kesar. Abba would he go from his yeshiva to the Beit Kesar? He obviously, the article says he was the advocate for the community. He was the Askan, right? Abba was a big rabbi. I heard a lot of Ben Shapiro, his opinion about this. He said, I don't understand. Where are all the rabbis? I don't understand. When it comes to abortion, Roe versus Wade, overturning Roe versus Wade, all the Catholic priests that come out against it, the big leaders. How could it be? How could you not allow abortion? How could you? Well, that's what they were critical in overturning Roe versus Wade. How could you allow abortion? Have to forbid abortion, or at least there's no constitutional right to abortion. Where are all the rabbis? What about the rabbis? Obviously, the Torah, Ben Shapiro assumes the Torah agrees. Torah agrees that we're against abortion. You can never, Ben Shapiro is very conservative. He says, of course, pro-life. You're killing the person, you're killing the fetus. I've gone through abortion. We've talked about this in one of the Kesubos. Again, my opinion about abortion. To say it loosely, I'm pro-abortion, since democratic, in the right circumstance. Obviously, when the baby is not genetically fit or it's not wanted by the parents, it's going to cause harm to the parents. Not physical harm, just emotional harm. It's going to be difficult to bring the child up. The child's going to bring up poverty. Not a good situation. According to the Torah, it's not called killing. The Torah holds it's not called killing. Fetus has monetary status, but not the status of human life. That's clear from the Gemara and the Torah Shabbat, it says that even. So basically, Ben Shapiro's opinion, nothing to do with abortion, but he says, why aren't the leaders of the Torah world? They're not advocating. They're not going to the public. He's the most famous advocate, of Orthodox Judaism. Ben Shapiro with his yarmulke, his black yarmulke, and his black shirt, and his black suit. He's advocating for the Jews. He's the one. He self-admits that he doesn't know too much about Torah. He learns the Talmud, the Daf Yomi shir. It's very hard for him, He connects more to, like, my Shulchan Aruch Yomi shir. If you're listening, Ben Shapiro, check out my Shulchan Aruch Yomi shir. I think you'll enjoy it. And I think you'll enjoy any of my shirim, but anyway, so Ben Shapiro was advocating that, the Askanim should be the Rabbanim. Askanim rhymes with Rabbanim. And this is what the Gemara says, right? Abba would go to the Caesar's palace to advocate for the Jews. Nafkar the Beit Kesar, the maidservants in the Caesar's house, the Ape, they would come out to greet him. They would sing. Kol Isha, Achi, Rabba, Dame, Umidabrana, Du Umase. The leader of his generation. Umidabrana, Du Umse. He speaks. He's the advocate for his nation. Botzina Denahura, a candle. Baruch Masiach L'Shalom. Blessed is your arrival for peace. Amru Level Repeated Ilai. Shinota Bashal Haz Marakat Akalav. Omar Kalina V'Chasuda. He would take a myrtle branch, right? He would leave it over from his lulav on Sukkot. He would take it. He would dance from the collars the whole year. Rav Shmuel, even though it got brown. I'm joking. Rav Shmuel by Rav Yitzchak. Marakat Atlas. So they say it means that he used to juggle hadassim over here. I think it means he was an old man, we'll see. So he had a cane. He danced with his cane. You see this at weddings. The old men will dance with their canes. You're embarrassing us to dance with your cane. When he died, when he died, they saw a pillar of fire separating his burial plot from everybody else. There's a tradition we understand that a pillar of fire this miracle only happens for 1 or 2 people in a generation. Obviously did a great thing by dancing, embarrassing himself in front of the chassan and kala. We'll talk more about this in Ben Sion. Rozera said his craziness, his stupidity helped the Saba. Amrila Shtuse Lasaba. Shutise means the myrtle branch. Shtuse means his foolishness. Some say his position, his opinion that he should do this, should embarrass himself to dance in front of the chassan and kala racha. Markula kafir racha. He took a kala on his shoulders. This reminds me of my bar mitzvah. When my friends were taking my sisters on their shoulders. Murakid, and they were dancing. Amri le Rabbanan an ma'ul lemevet haki. The Rabbanan wanted, no, can we do this? Amr hu, idam lech shura lechayi below low. If the women appear to you like a beam, a wooden beam, meaning you have no sexual attraction to them, it's okay. If not, not. Hard to understand. Nagia, Gemara says Nagia is okay in this situation. Amr Shmuel bar Nachman Amr Yonasan, but the stakel b'fnei kala kol shiva. You're allowed to gaze and stare at a kala all 7 days of the Sheva Bracha. The husband sees everyone staring. Oh, she's beautiful. The ladies don't pass like this because whatever reason you think, the reason we don't pass like this, most people would say because Magara the Yitzhar Hara, your desire for women, other women. If you come to a path, a crossroads, or roads actually, join into one road. So, which one goes first? So, the kala comes before the dead person. And both of them, meaning the king, goes before a kala or a mace. He let the kala pass before him. Chachamim praised him. Shabchu, they praised him and called the shopper upward. He did good. Amar Vashi, Avil Mandamar Nasi Shemach Lakoda Koda Machal. A Nasi, a president, Yitzchak Herzog, he's Mochel his kavod, Machal Melech Shemach Lakoda Koda Machal. It's not Machal. You can't be Mochel on his kavod. Amar Mar, Som Zim Alecha Melech. Torah commands you double, right? Shtei Maso Alecha, place him doubly on you, meaning the Melech has to have. People should fear the king, and if he is mocha on his kavod, they're not going to feel him. The Gemara answers Parshas Drachim Havai. It was a crossroads where there were 2 or 3 ways of going, so therefore he went to one side. It didn't look like he's letting the kala go in front of him. To go to burial, to go to weddings. He would do it himself. When are you mevatel Torah for a dead person? When he doesn't have enough people to honor him. If he has enough people, you don't have to mevatel Talmud Torah. What is it? 12,000 men and 6,000 people playing the trumpets. Some say 13,000 men, and among them 6,000 men that play the trumpets. Depends on the place where you live. It has to be enough people to fill up from the city gates until the cemetery of Sheish. Just like the Torah was given with 600,000 people, so therefore, when a person dies, the Torah is taken away. It's patr min Torah min a mitzvah, so therefore it will also be 600,000 people. All these numbers are only for someone who was proficient in Torah Shebachtav and Mishnayos, Halachos. Avalaman the Masni, the Gemara in Yudzayin Avei is Leislei Shiura, someone who he's a teacher, he's a Moser Shir like me. He gives over Torah to other people. There's no Shir. The whole world has to come. If there are people, the Mishnah says there's the Edom that she went out with Hinuma. I said it means like a crown on her head. We'll see what it means. My Hinuma, the Gemara says what? Surcha bar Papa Mishmei the Zihiri Amar Tanura da Asa. Actually translated, they had like a canopy made out of hadassim, of myrtle branches. They used to take her with that to under the wedding canopy. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kreisa de Manamna Balkalta. It's a type of veil that she's able to doze off. The Kal is able to doze off in it. I guess this is the source for these veils they have in the Haredi world. When I grew up, I never saw such a thing like this. I think the first time I saw it, maybe 7 years ago, I saw it at a Haredi wedding, and they had and the Haredim have like this. It's really a white cloth, completely opaque. I mean, it's like a Shabbos tablecloth. You can't see it through at all. Chala's not supposed to see it at all. You can't see her face at all. Not like a common veil that most people have, where it's see through and it's it's made out of like I can't remember the word, a material with little holes in it. That's the common veil in the Haredi world. So she can doze off all she wants because no one knows. She also can't see where she's going. So she's liable to trip on anything. I don't know where this Makora came from that you can't see her face at all. I mean, it looks like Mea Sharim. Some of these people in Mea Sharim, they wear this all the time. Like their whole body is covered in like this big, like, I don't know, like a blanket almost. And their faces are covered. I don't know how they see. All right, Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka Omer. He said even if they throw certain grains, you can tell whether she's. They throw grains at the chassan and kalas. That's a sign that she's a psula. Tana Yehuda Raya. Bavel Mai. In Yehuda it's a Raya. In Bavel, what do they do? That makes it evident that she's a psula. Amar of Dardugi the Mishcha Reisha the Rabbanan. They rub oil on the bald heads of the Rabbanan. Amar they rub Papa Labai Mishcha the Chavifusa Kamar Mar. Are you talking about shampoo? He says, you're a yasom. You don't have parents. Your mother didn't make, right? When you got married, you're one of the Surim Rabbanan. She should have smeared oil all over your head. When you got married, she should have smeared oil on the other Rabbanan's head. There was a certain rabbi. Right, he came chutanim with Rabbi Barula. Amrile Rabbi Barula yasik lebrebe ahun rabbanan. Some say Rabbi Barula, he was the one who was the father of the chassan, and he got a chutanim with rabbanan. Medardik mashcha reisha the rabbanan mishas ma'isa. At the time of shas ma'isa, I don't know what shas ma'isa means. Time of the chuppah, they put oil on the rabbis' heads. I don't know what this means. Amalasa mai. How do you know that she's an almana? What sign is that? Tiny Rav Yosef Amalasa lays like gisni. Both in Bavel and Shell, she doesn't have this parched grain, so that would testify that she's almana. Motor Rabbi Yehoshua, Omer the Chaveira. Back to the other case in the Mishnah. The Gemara digressed a little bit. Talk about, well, now the Mishnah is digressing. They'll talk about something else. A case really belongs in Nezikin, in Maseches Bava Basra, where you say to someone, "This field belonged to your father, but I bought it from him." Is he believed or not? Rabbi Yeshua's moda, he's believed as long as no Edom, Pesha Aser, Pesha Hitter. Whereas the listing moda Rabbi Yeshua, Omer Chaver Sadazu Shalcha, he said, Mimcha. Why does the Gemara have to say, I bought it from your father? I can say, I bought it from you, right? It was yours, but I bought it from you, right? That would be the bigger Chiddush. The Gemara says, because we want to end off the Mishnah. If there were Edom that belonged to, let's say, the son, right, and he said, I bought it from you, he's not believed. Right? It doesn't work out in this case. If he already was on this land for 3 years, he was working the land, and he didn't protest the son, right, so he's believed with that, even if there's Edom. If he didn't spend 3 years there, he's obviously not believed. So the Gemara says, fine. By his father also. Same logic. If this person who claims to own the field now, right, stayed on the field for 3 years without anyone protesting, so he's believed. If he didn't in 3 years, pshita, obviously he's going to believe. He's not going to believe over there where there's Edom. He's not going to believe without a pesha or pesha hitter. No, by the father, there is a chiddush, right, where the father was alive for 2 years. He had the field in his possession for 2 years. There's the person who claims to own it now. And the father died. And then his son inherited the field, right, or supposedly inherited the field. Rav Huna says, and what happened? Then the son was inherited. The son was a katan. He was younger than 13 years old when he inherited it. So therefore, the 3rd year of chazaka doesn't help because a katan is not responsible to be mocha and to protest that someone took his field. And even Rav Huna says, even if he's Higdil, even if many years passed and he was a bar mitzvah boy for 10 years and he didn't protest because originally the third year he wasn't able to protest, therefore there's never a chazaka of shalosh shanim. Chazaka of shalosh shanim, as the Gemara about Basra explains, is that if I am living on someone's property for 3 years and no one makes a protest, that means it's my land. So, unless you have proof otherwise. So, Rav Huna Masisin Asla Trina. Rav Huna, this is what our Mishnah is telling you. If that's really what our Mishnah is telling us, why does Rav Huna have to repeat this? But the same Rav Huna, the Yukud Masisin Kama. Rav Huna is just telling you the explanation of our Mishnah, why our Mishnah shows the case of the father. But the same Afilu Higdil Kamashma. No, the Chiddush of Rav Huna is to tell you even if he came older, right, and he wasn't protested for many years, since originally when he heard it, he was a katan, therefore he doesn't have to be mocha. But listen to the date. So the Gemara persists, and let's say we're talking about the person is the son himself. The 2 years he ate it, right when the person was around. 1 when he wasn't around, Baruch, he ran away. That's why he wasn't around. Baruch machmas mais. The Gemara asks, why did he run away? Eat the Baruch machmas fashos. People were threatening with his life. They're about to kill him. Pshita delo mahem. He's not bad. He doesn't have to be mocha. He's running away for his life. He doesn't have the responsibility to protest, to worry about his money. Delo matzi machi. Eat the Baruch machmas mamon. If he's running away because he wants to make more money somewhere else, he has to be mocha. Even if he has to save money somewhere else, you could be mocha not in front of him. This not how you know that. Shalosh aratos lechazaka. Yehuda Yarden and Galdil. Mishnah and Baba Basra says there's 3 lands that have separate halachas about chazaka in Eretz Yisrael. Yehuda, which is the lower portion of Eretz Yisrael, Yarden, right, which is the west bank. Galdil. And the Galdil is the northern part of Israel. He was in Yehuda. The owner was in Yehuda. And the person stayed on the field in Galil. But Galil Yehuda, the opposite. It doesn't work unless he's with him in that Medina, in that portion of Eretz Yisrael, that district of Eretz Yisrael. But it's mashma from this Mishnah that if he's Jalal B'fana, but he's in the same Medina, just in a different city, then it would be. By Micah Savar. And we asked about this Mishnah, what does it hold? If a machashal b'fanav is a macha, so even a different district in Eretz Yisrael, it should be good. You consider machashal b'fanav l'havi macha, right? Afilu Yehuda nami, even a different city in Yehuda shouldn't be a macha, shouldn't be eligible for macha. Amar Yabba Ramam Olam consider machashal b'fanav heavy a macha. Really, like the Gemara said before, machashal b'fanav is a macha. This Mishnah in Baba Basra was talking about an emergency situation. Why did it say Yehuda and Galdil? Right? Meaning, if it's an emergency situation, let's say it's a war or something like that, you can't easily travel from one place to another. So, the reason Macha Shalom B'fanav is considered a Macha is because even when I protest, in a different city, so there's people that travel between this city and the next city where the field actually is. So therefore, we assume that it came, his protest actually came to the ears of the person sitting on the field or using the field now. B'shas Cheira, emergency, it's hard to get, there's not a lot of traveling between different areas, so therefore it doesn't get there. Why did it pick Yehuda and Galdil? The Stam Yehuda, top of Yechem and all, the Stam Yehuda Galdil, Geshas Cheira, Dami, Yehuda and Galdil, a lot of people don't travel Yehuda and Galdil. It's far to go from Jerusalem to Tiferia, there's only buses like 12 times a day. It's like Shas Cheira, Dami, I don't know what the Gemara means exactly. It's hard to get there, so therefore Macha Shalom B'fanav is not considered a Macha from Galdil to Yehuda or Yehuda to Galdil. However, from Yehuda to Yehuda, there's always people traveling, so therefore there's a lot of buses, they have the light rail, so the people traveling, so therefore Macha Shalom B'fanav would be a Macha. So therefore the Gemara disproves that that opinion, because there's no reason to talk about it, right? If he's Baruch Machmas Nefashos, if he's running away because of his life, so he doesn't have to be Mocha, and he's Baruch Machmas Mamon, so then he should be Mocha. So there's no Chiddush in our Mishnah. That's why, so at this point, the Gemara assumes we're still talking, it makes sense that it's only talking about the father. The Gemara will persist to ask questions on this Mishnah coming up in the next year. Hopefully I'll do it this afternoon to get back on schedule. See you in Eon Ben Sion coming up next.